Bless. Bless. Come on. You know what it is. Blessings be upon you. And I know y'all know we gonna need some of that today. We gonna need some of that today. So today we gonna discuss and talk about singed booties. I'm so serious. So jumping straight into it. And normally I would give you so what had happened was, but you don't want to hear what had happened was. So here it is. Family's off enjoying a little staycation down the mountain. Grand folks provided us with a nice little opportunity to enjoy some slides, some pool, some bonding time with the wife. Not very often do we get bonding time with folk kids and so much other stuff. So it was nice. We down the hill enjoying. Ooh, taking that big deep breath. You know? And I want to get back simply because I know my garden ain't gonna be able to make it. So I'm a little anxious. I'm a little tense. I want to get there. But we ain't got nothing to rush for. Like everything's taken care of. And finally, yeah, it's time to go. We got to get back. The animals gonna need water. You know, the animals gonna probably need a little bit more food. Like, so we headed back. So we get there, and you know all the fun stuff about unloading a vehicle after a vacation. And ain't nobody got time for that. We had to. So we getting all this stuff out the car. Kids is helping with a little bit they can. So as we getting all this stuff out the car, man, we tired. Because we had just spent first couple hours of the morning swimming in the sun. So finally, we just, all right, we'll get the last little bit a little bit later because we had even sat inside and we're sitting there putting stuff away. And it's just, you know what it is. So we sat down, take a break. Sit down. Not even 2 minutes into it, oldest comes running. I smell smoke and fire. No, you don't. Ain't nobody grilling out here. Ain't nobody setting no fires out here. Ain't nobody. There's no fire in the country. We don't do fire in the country. Once it hits, just there is no way. None. So the instinct in me says, yeah, let's triple check. Because it's the country. So wife gets up, I get up, run out there, and yeah, why is that? Oh, it's got to be the dogs, or maybe it's the pig. Nah, that's fire. Uh, there's no way, but that's fire. Wife and I yell at each other. I'm calling the fire department. I run inside, grab the fire extinguisher. I ain't even gonna tell you the trouble of running down there and almost knocking myself out on a branch. I ain't even going to tell y'all the trouble of not having the time to put on actual running shoes and trying to move through these hills to get down to see the backside of the property where the smoke is coming from, where nothing ever be, but somehow it's there today. It was fire. Can't even begin to explain. But yeah, it was fire. So I take that fire extinguisher, pop the pin, which I can't even tell you where it is now. Pop the pin, aim nozzle, base of fire. Oh, okay, cool. It looked like it's gonna go out. Yeah, like I thought I had it, and no, it said hey little homie, I got the juice. And lost in it. Could feel the fire, the heat, singeing, burning my skin was because it was the fire extinguisher sure wasn't enough for so you know, all the smoke kicked back up too, and so I couldn't see, I couldn't breathe. I backpedaled like I was trying out for the NFL flag All-Star team. I wish there was an NFL scout there too, man. Look, I'd have been signed on that. Only way I figured I'd be able to get reverse. So reverse. Verse finally got out of there. She took a couple breaths and tried to find a new spot. 'Cause maybe there was some more in that extinguisher. So circled around, went, and then tried to release whatever else was left because I knew there had to be something. And it said, and it was just we're in trouble. Hey, free thought. How y'all doing? Today we're gonna talk some CalFire. Forgive my look. I probably am a bit singed, and no, this is not a sunburn. Yeah, really got swallowed by it. Obviously, we survived it, so that's a plus. It didn't. It didn't eat up as much as one might hope, or sorry, it ate up more than one might hope, but it was still a very small fire. That's what we're talking about today. That's where we is. That's how we moving. That's how we rolling. Oof. So, a couple things before we get into it. I want to say Cal Fire. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, we had a couple folks who, in this country, we call neighbors. Uh, Thank you, and to the crews that ended up coming out, to the cats in that plane that dropped the pink down to stop the fire. Thank you. Thank you. This podcast gonna be for you by us. You like that? You like that? So, first things first. I gotta tell you, great googly moogly. That was kind of the fear we had when it all happened. And it hit us that same way, like a big boom. Um, and it's given us a whole new perspective on not just Cal Fire, not just police, sheriffs, uh, but life. And if you ever watched House or you ever watched so many of these shows, it's funny how they depict life altering events and saying folks don't really change their life. I ain't gonna change, but I'm gonna change. See, that's the thing is you don't change necessarily in big ways unless you know you wasn't moving necessarily the right way in the first place. But I know that I was doing I. You know what I'm saying? I was doing I, but I could do better. So that's how I'm going to start moving. Is I'm going to start doing better. So my personal experience with firefighters is this double-edged sword. Ironically, when I was 8 years old, 8 years old, uh, my youngest brother had gotten dropped off at preschool, so it was just me and my oldest sister. I might have been 9 or something, but in that age range. So we got to go to school later. It was a late day, half day or something. I don't know. It's something weird, but we got to walk down and do whatever. So we took our time. We was making breakfast and enjoying ourselves and just school will be there when we ready. It's an early day, no, late day, baby, yeah. So no, we was chilling, but we were feeling really weak, which is why it is. Like we was really feeling weak and sick and off. And mind you, nothing was the problem when we first woke up. It was just the more we were up and moving, we was just feeling just like a complete lack of energy and queasy and tired. So we gotta call mom. We ain't going to school. We feel bad. So we grabbed the phone, the house phone, the long corded house phone. We dial mom at work, not her cell phone. We call mom's work job because she's at work. And we take the cord and we walk that long cord out to the back and we sit outside back, wait for it to ring, wait for it. Oh, hey, hello, yeah, can you please get our mom? Yeah, we don't feel well. Yeah, please, thank you. So we holding because she was the manager doing all the days, running around. And we're sitting there, we're feeling better, ironically. Like, so finally gets to the phone. It was like 5 minutes later. We were feeling sick. We're not sure that we want to go to school, but I mean we're feeling. She's like, well, y'all just hurry up, go get your food or whatever, and y'all go to school. So y'all get out that house. All right, fine, whatever. So we get out the house. We go to school. After school, there's sports or there's something going on, a dance or something going on with one of us or all of us or somehow somewhere. So we all don't get back to the house till like 6. And this is during the darker season of the year for us here in California. See, I'm a Cali boy. I've always been a country Cali boy. So anyway, it's still late. So we get a quick dinner and we'd eaten out. So we eat real quick, shower, or not even shower. I don't know what we did. Brush teeth. I don't know. I don't remember none of that stuff. I remember we got in the house and laid down and somebody vomited. Don't remember who, but somebody vomited. And then we were all of us were just starting to feel the same way. So dad got on the phone, called 911. And woo woo, hear the sirens. They come get us, and they take us out. And they're like, "Oh, you somehow y'all got a propane leak. If y'all had gone to sleep, y'all have woke up dead." I remember that. I got some oxygen from a tank sitting in the ambulance for a bit. They talked us up. They explained some other stuff to dad that I don't remember because I didn't get that part. I just remember that first part. We're sitting there, and then it was, "Do you want to go in the ambulance to the hospital?" Nah, I want to go. I want to go to my boy D's house. So I go over to D's house. And then I stayed the night, and I don't think I stayed the night for a couple of days or something, just so they could fix the leak and all that. But that was my first experience with fire folks. So I loved them as a kid, always loved them. And as I got older, and as I get older, as a black male, I see how often that they might be observed or seen as a silent supporter of law enforcement, especially and more specifically at many of these protests. They're kind of sitting on that side back there, making sure that if something happens, that the police first are taken care of. And while that may not be the case, I said maybe observed or seen because from a perspective, that's how we're going to see it. And I'm not saying necessarily that's how I see it. I had the experience of running to the fire folks because I'd had something happen to me. So I'd had some police do a little bit of some abusivenesses, and I went to the fire department because I figured that was the place to go because I was just messed up, and they wrote it off. They gave me the stuff I needed, but they wrote off all the rest of it and kind of brushed me aside. So it soured all of that, and so seeing that It kind of soured it. The piece that makes it conflicting, because at that point it's just in the balance. Let's see what they do, and I see all the stuff they do, but in the balance, see what they do. So in the balance, my native blood, mine. I'm not saying for all of us. I'm saying mine gets a little upset seeing all of these different government entities protecting, taking care of, and doing all these different things for all of this wild lands, all these forests and stuff, that they're not necessarily really caring to and taking care of in the manner that I think would benefit the land. And mind you, this is why it matters. Because my taxes then go to that. So I live essentially so far up in the country, in such a far removed place, that the backside of our forest is the beginning of an Indian reservation, of my brothers, my native indigenous brothers. It's the beginning of a reservation. Think about that. Beginning of a reservation, and if you drive 10 minutes, then you're out of that reservation. If you go up the hill a minute up from here, there's another Indian. I really don't like that word. I'm gonna stop saying it. I was trying to give y'all something to relate to, but I don't like that word. So I'll say First People. So there's another First People reservation, and it's off in the cut. And if you drive for more than 5 or 10 minutes, then you're out of it. And then there's another one that's over there, and then another one that's over there, and they're all so small, all of them. So seeing that my taxes are going to a government entity that is essentially replacing, not in a replacement theory, but replacing individuals who I feel very strongly would be able to manage the land better. Only in this regard. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I want you to understand this. We know for a fact that we don't have the capital to pay the amount of individuals we really need to go in and manage the forest. We have a force of individuals who are overwhelmed with the workforce that they are getting, and are extremely underpaid. I ain't gonna argue none of that with you. None of that. I'm simply gonna say it hurts to see, and then see the First Peoples, and it's so that bit of, call it a little sting. That sting kind of dropped the level, and it gave me a sour feeling, a sour taste for CalFire, for the other fires. Like it gave me a sour taste. Again, respect for them. It's not no hate for them. It just gave me that sour taste. Man, I take 2 spoonfuls of sugar to enjoy the medicine that just went down. I'm glad that I had that experience, to be honest with you. Only in that it was small enough and all that stuff, so there was no real harm or damage done. I'll say it better. I'm fortunate. I'm blessed. I'm appreciative. I'm grateful to have survived and had the family and all them survive that experience in that manner, and to had to sit there and rely my entire existence on just cats who we've had them sour tastes with, right? As melanated individuals, many of us. I'm not gonna include all, because some of y'all were slid through. We'll call it that. But we have bad interactions. I mean, calling the police to try to escape a domestic situation and ended up shot or ended up arrested or ended up, well, that can happen to brothers. It does happen to brothers. Calling the police because you're locked out of your house or the alarm going off on your house or a neighbor seeing you entering your house. Police called. That does happen. I don't need to go down a whole road of this stuff. It does happen. Acknowledge, because you know that is the case. Now, mind you, remember when I say black, yes, it is melanated folk, but also we're gonna get to this context of understanding, hopefully very soon, that black is more than an encompassing of a race, as race doesn't exist. Black is melanated, Afro-ancestor folk, minorities, poor whites, and even individuals of different religious and ethnic backgrounds whose skin darkens and dampens. Y'all's all black. And you ready for this one? You ready for this? All y'all mentally or whose mental health is a journey, maybe one more significant than others. Y'all are black. My autistic cats, y'all are black. Like any of that stuff where you get put in this box of outside the norm, and outside the norm to a point where it really kind of objectifies that trait. Oh, you black. Go through all that stuff. The inability to understand something that doesn't specifically correlate with the cultural, ethnic, and natural background and upbringing of individuals, then add in all of the elements of entertainment falsifying the true description of cultures and individual peoples, warps and twists individuals' minds. So when we go out here and look at these things, Allah, we get a sour taste and it burns our nose. So I had a sour taste. So I ran around to the other side of the fire. Remember? Thinking I'd be able to have enough and shh. And it's I've never had a gun actually held up to my face. I had a cat intimate he was going to pull one on me. Never had a knife pulled on me. I've been jumped. I've been jumped by civilians once. Um, I had an accident that was really scary too. Um, I have never in my life, and during a pregnancy, there was a very long extended delay, and I had to end up leaving and was still sitting out there waiting and waiting and waiting. And that scared. I mean, because that's mama. Like, what's gonna happen? I ain't never been as scared in my life ever. And obviously, brother been locked up. You know how they do. But anyway, like I said, ever in my life is that fire extinguisher going out and that fire looking at me and saying, "Nah, little homie, we got the juice." I had a 5-pound paperweight in my hand. And Andre the Giant was on steroids and on fire. Rest in peace, Andre. I love you still, you know what I'm saying? So, now I need to become Marathon Man. I need to run to the nearest fire station. Little segue. 2 weeks ago, putting in T-pose. It's a 6-foot T-pose. And you know, my little 5'9" self vertically challenged, I ain't going to be able to really power it down. So I'm reaching, stretching. I'm trying to give it one good whack so I can then just boom, boom, boom. So and I miss. And it twists around the arm with a T-pose and it smacks me directly in the middle of my left knee capsicles. Man, look, I sat down under the tree that was nearest and I took some deep breaths and then everything just started sparkling and getting dark at the same time. And I said, babe, and just, so my knees busted. And when a fire's popping off, and when you had just gotten home from a staycation, and had just gotten a chunk of this stuff unloaded and needed a break to breathe, you didn't have time to put on a brace. You didn't have time to put on real shoes. I'm running in Vandals. I'm running down a country hill, up a dirty, dirt country road with a busted leg and Vandals and a prayer. And I am Usain Bolt if he had broken both legs, but I am trying my posterior off. And I mean, I'm trying because my posterior is on fire and it's about to be boinked off. So I am trying. And I'm hoping that they called and I should be hearing a siren. And as I don't hear a siren, every footstep becomes a amplified and intensifying drum. It's drowning out the wonderful, beautiful, peaceful silence and becoming a reminder there's something behind you and it's not going away. And just louder, louder. And I'm running up louder and get there finally. And I'm screaming the last as I'm on getting onto the property, just fire, help, because I'd really like to just lay the fuck down because my leg is just going out. And I get in there and I start banging on these doors and opening just whatever's unlocked. Help! And it's a ghost town. Remember the movies where they send these scientists or whoever out to some abyss somewhere? I remember one where they sent these folks to like somewhere, we're in a far north place where it's really cold. And they get to this town and there's only one cat there and some scientist. And they talk about just everything's gone. And oh, yeah, it was that. There was no one there. And I felt just as alone as if I was in that movie by myself. And I would have felt like I had just as much control and safety and protecting ability over my family if I was in that same spot. Take a breath. I take two, turn around, and I look at the road that runs up the hill home. And I start trudging and trotting along as I'm galloping like a one-legged, fast as I possibly can, praying every step that there's going to be the whoop whoop, and that I can just lay down. But it don't come. And I can't tell if it's not coming because I'm screaming and yelling fire and help so loud, or if I'm not yelling loud enough and it's the drum that's still drowning everything out because the silence is gone. And while the silence is gone, there's still nothing to fill it, but it's gone. It's just this pressure. It's just this weight. It's just this unknowing existence that there is this thing, but I can't do anything and I need help. And I know I should be able to hear them like a dragon swooping in to come and use whatever wings it has to just extinguish. But I don't hear it. I don't hear the dragon's howl. And even as I get finally up that hill, and as I get down that driveway, and I see everybody sitting there and watching it creep up the hill, the flames licking, trying to grab anything. Fingers, like long sickles, like long sickles, trying to just grab anything. But everything it touches, it can't grab because it melts. So it's just trying to grab it. As it grabs, it just burns. And as it burns, it just becomes bigger and starts. I'm not understanding why everybody's still standing there. So I scream, get it, get them, get. Yeah. So they get the kids out, hop in the cars, drive down to the fire station, and just as they leave, fire folks pull up. I was able to get the dogs into the car. I was able to turn off the solar batteries. I was able to shut the doors to the house. I was able to grab my bag with my passport and something else or whatever. Like my most important. Like I can't not have these. Like if I lose these, I don't have nothing. I'm done. And I was out. As I'm getting out, they're pulling down. I want you to imagine being forced to eat that one thing that just when you eat it, it sits and rolls in this state of inconsistent solid and liquid and slime sludge, and it just doesn't fit right, and it's got this bitter just rolling thing that clings to your taste buds. Imagine that being the taste you have when you see firefighters and police. And those are the two cats that come down. Because it's not the big rig. Those don't necessarily come first. They're big, bulky, hard to get there. Mind you, depending on the fire, maybe you don't need that big a thing. I don't know how it works. They'll tell you. So the first thing is the big fire, the chief. And then the sheriff rolled in, a couple minutes after. And I've never breathed a sigh of relief so big as I did when I saw them. That sourness turned into some of the best sugar, and that medicine, how much I thought would be bitter, turned out to be quite meaty and fruitful. The bitterness was me. So that sheriff pops out the car and who? It's the homie sheriff. This is the sheriff that when I've had trouble or when something has happened, we've been able to talk and things have been able to get resolved. Yes. Built such a rapport so that now I don't see the uniform, but I recognize and acknowledge the uniform because the first thing they came up with sirens, and when a brother normally hears sirens, the first thing they feel is, oh shit, duck and cover, run, run. But the first feeling I felt was, oh shit, I can breathe. Think of the irony in that. So this cat pulls up and I can't even look. I have no reference of time anymore. Not since. Like I'm still trying to get that back. I'm still trying to get a good reference of time. I can just tell you this. I saw a plane come And I saw it off in the distance, and I was thinking, what the hell is a big ass plane like that doing over here right now? And it started doing this little, and I'm just lost and wondering what's all going on because I don't really hear any of the sirens, and I'm thinking, they're not doing this for this, and I don't know any of it, but I see it, and then all of a sudden it says, and it's like, holy shit, that's fire! And the words and the situation landed on me just as quickly as the notion that I better get back in my truck because that pink stuff's going to get me. So in the truck, sheriff hop in the truck with me. Dogs are in the back of it, windows up all the way, and I'm trying to peek through the crack of the messed up tent that's in the thing, trying to watch and see because I'm a kid again now. I'm a kid again that was able to be saved from the propane leak in my home in military housing. I'm back to that kid. That's the safety that I felt by having him there. And just as much as like that little kid sitting behind that cat for all of a couple minutes to try to figure out what they're doing because they have this ginormous screen with all these different graphics and all these different things. And he's just boop boop over like just back and forth, and I'm like, cool, I'm out. Hop in. I go down to the fire station. I sit with the folks. Now it's time that I can be Baba. Now I ain't got to be savior. I ain't got to pretend to be firefighter. I say that again. I ain't got to pretend to be firefighter. So my babies is all shook. My little one, she grabbed. They were all told to grab something, and my little one, she grabbed an electric guitar. My little one is 4 years old, and we have this electric guitar that's busted and broken that we hung in the ancestors tree. Um, for them to be able to have to play music and whatnot. And it got blown out of the tree when the wind was kicking one day. So oldest one grabbed it the other day, was messing with her. Somebody did and brought it and set it down. It was sitting by the table, and she grabs this broken electric guitar, and she's sitting in the car with her dog, this giant Pyrenees Ridgeback. And she's strumming this broken guitar and singing songs so that she can feel safe. My my boy, he's trying to see as much as he can what the firefighters are doing because he's in the firefighter dream stage where he wants to be a firefighter when he's older, and I'm pushing for it all that I can now, if that's his real dream. All right, let's do that. Maybe you just volunteer and do some other stuff on for real and this is just your passionate, but I don't care however he wants to. If he really wants to, yeah, I got you. Um, and then my oldest daughter, she's she's clean to me. She was doing her dancing and cartwheeling and kind of off a little bit. And then she's clean to me. We're watching the planes come and drop more pink. We're watching other engines pull up, and we can hear other engines pulling up, and seeing cats jump out of this big crew truck and start suiting up, and it's like, man. So Wally, there's this scene where uh, something gets broken or other, and all these machines come out and just brand new again, right? So that's what this chief did. This chief was the orchestrator. He came out, started here, got whatever he needed here, took off, went to the station, and turned that empty ghost lot of a fire station. And I want to give you this so you understand why it's an empty ghost lot when I arrived. There's an empty ghost lot because fires. Hold on, me. Gotta clean this up. It's gonna be the poster part. Ready? Fires in Southern California are no joke. They don't just cost us natural wildlife, woods, and forests that we love to go out and entertain ourselves in, whether camping or hiking or just simply taking families for community events and picnics, birthdays, celebrations of love. We lose property like homes. We lose best friends and relationships like pigs, goats, geese, ducks, horses, alpacas, camels, and so many others. And the most significant cost, not economic, though that does tally, is actually the energy and livelihood, sometimes terminal, to our firefighters. So please, please, especially during the most dangerous of fire seasons, don't just be someone that prevents fire. Proactively and actively engage in fire knowledge to completely prevent any sort of mistakes or mishappenings. So, and I mean that. You got to be vigilant about this. Truly vigilant. So you cats that like to come, you tourists that come up from the city that smoke and think tossing your cigarettes out the window is okay, that will light all of our homes on fire. You city folk that come out to this country and feel like I know how to handle fire. I've been dealing with fire my whole life. I used to go camping as a kid and I used to do all of this stuff, and I've been a grown ass man going or grown ass woman going to all these different places where I needed to make fire, and even it was dangerous and I made it, nothing happened. Don't. Don't. I'm sure you safe. But if there's anything that I learned from getting my black ass burnt to a crisp trying to put one out, fire don't really give a hot damn what you think you know. And fire will educate your ass real quick on what you don't know. And out of respect for us country folk, please don't burn our home down. What you see is just camping grounds or hiking grounds. We live in a forest. Our kids run up and down these trails and make memories that will last and carry them until their next lifetime. And not every once a year or when we get a chance to come visit. Our kids are out there running up and down these different places like almost every other weekend. This is home to them. All of this is home. So the same way you have all these different places and parks and pools and sports and stadiums that you'll go to in the city that you get upset at when you feel like us country folk don't come in and give you the same respect, please look, start. And we'll do the same. And I ask you to be the start to be and the most vigilant part to be surrounding fire safety. No, please. None of them fires out here while you camping. So we sitting down there. Sorry, going back to the command center. And why it was a ghost town. Oh, because them cats was out fighting a different fire. Them cats, ready for it? Them cats weren't home to take care of the fire that was in their backyard because they were busy putting out a fire in somebody else's backyard. That's how serious it is. If that don't give you any true understanding, let me put it this way for you city folk. I want you to imagine this. Imagine there's something dangerous going on. Maybe it's a squirrel that looks suspicious. Maybe it's an empty potato chip bag on the corner. Like something, right? Imagine feeling so unsafe about it that you take off and drive, sitting on your cell phone trying to call the police. No answer, no answer. You get there, there's no one there. Not there. You can hear your heartbeat ringing in your ears and feel it throbbing in your fingers because the silence in that building, the emptiness in that building is so tender and soft. That feeling. And then let it sink in that they off somewhere else taking care of a domestic abuse situation, taking care of a car accident, taking care of a fire. Now you upset. I mean, imagine if they were taking care of a different potato chip bag in somebody else's community. You got to handle that potato chip bag yourself. Fortunately, the heroes got the call and they show up. They might have had to come from somewhere else because there's so much dangerous, illicit looking potato chip bags and squirrels that they are on it. So we as a community of cousins, brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, mamas, a family of folk that are divided by a discombobulated bridge that leads us to have many a different feeling about us city folk and us country folk. Well, today we're going to stop and we're going to put a couple bricks across it. And we're going to make that mend in the aspect of respect to one another's homes. And let me give you this too. That litter that y'all be tossing out the window, that's fuel. That becomes nice and dry and crispy and just sits there waiting. It's fuel. So part of keeping our homes from going is also keeping our homes from looking. So them cats did all kinds of spectacular things, and I have no clue or understanding about none of it. Our taxes go to that. Thank God. Thank God. And I'll push for more. I will. I'll push for more. Even understanding there probably isn't enough, or even that we don't have enough. I'll push for more. I guess the truth is, how much could we prevent in needing to pay to put forth to these cats if we were just all more vigilant and ardent, proactive firefighters? What if we just did so much stuff before a fire started that we didn't render them useless, but we were able to render them to where they were only needed for the real shit? Wouldn't that be amazing? If for no other reason, then now these cats ain't gotta really risk their lives for too much of stuff. These cats are risking their lives for stuff. Because look at, so the story I just shared about my experience of feeling like I was gonna die, like my life flashed before my eyes, like the fact that I felt suffocated in those I don't even, again, no frame of reference. It probably could have been this quick and I'd have been out. But in that moment of an eternal, unstopping, unending moment of almost death, in that moment, it was probably the most real and most only thing. It's the only thing that moved me. My kids, the thought of them, believing I could hear them saying my name and calling to me, like that made me backpedal like I was an all, all world defensive back. But that's uh that's something nobody should ever have to experience. And as serious as it was to me, please forgive me, all you real firefighters and volunteers that have dealt with real shit. Because Ooh, I know y'all laughing. And please do. Yeah, seriously, go ahead. Please do. Just let me know that if you see me when you see me, that me feeling that way because of my complete and utter lack of information and knowledge with regards to y'all's what it's like and what y'all do leads me to believe that I was about to become a foghorn leghorn, extra crispy. So, and they'll tell you if you get a chance to talk to them, and if you get a chance to talk to them, talk to them. You ain't got to let them know you got it from me. Just talk to them. So if you get a chance to talk to them and they've heard this story or bring up this story, they'll tell you, nah, he'd have been all right. He was cool. He was cool. He'd have been all right. So, fire is actually probably one of the most dangerous and deadly things to pop off in Southern California and California, and now largely encompassing a majority of the West Coast. I know there are individuals who feel that they can get an essence of control in their life, an essence of feeling like they are able to dictate the means of some aspect in their life through arson. They enjoy watching, feeling, knowing that they were the one that had the power to do that, which ended up in that. And I know there's probably not much that I can say to really touch upon your heart to make you feel like that ain't the route you need to go. However, my name is Ramazis Satek, and I'm that dude. I'm that cat. So give me a second and let me share with you something. The control you seek ain't coming through that flame and it ain't coming through that fire. And in the end, the guilt that you feel for the destruction of putting all that stuff to flame and a hope to gain control is going to eat at you and make you need to burn more. You hurting. You hurting because somebody, something, somehow took the power and control that you once had for yourself, and they took it in a manner that you felt so deeply scarred and sore and burned that now it's the flick of that flame, the strength of that power, the ode and essence of the way it sings and talks. That's just putting you back in the same space. However, you're giving it a new face. Put that thing down. Put it down. And call somebody so that they can put you in a place of opportunity for you to raise yourself about that space. Give yourself true control by getting an understanding of how to move in ways that allow your passions to thrive and grow. Be fire in the moves that you make by giving people a display of the exuberance and beautiful being that you are. That dare homie is your real power. That dare homie was a life lesson. You gotta soak that up, you know what I'm saying? Soak that up like this fire retardant. Soak that up, homie. But not for real, look. I'm gonna give the second piece, the second art of a life lesson. And this is something that I mean working with, working and working through. We all are carrying that sour slop in our mouths with regard to one thing or another. We cherish the flavor because we feel so often it keeps us safe when confronted with the obstacle of so many memories of sour taste in spoonfuls. I hated mushrooms growing up as a kid. It tasted funny. Now, they're one of my most favorite delicacies. I learned to appreciate the real grainy, groundy flavor and the fact that they are really, really proteiny and a juxtaposition of life when eating, considering it's a fungus that can really replace a meat. I found new ways to identify new things, well, old things, into better understood new things. So the same way that mushroom is now a lovely edible delicacy in our cuisine is the same way that we need to start taking second looks, second opportunities to be able to really view what's in front of us. Because so often it's our heads that are given the flavor instead of us simply being able to sit back, relax, and enjoy the culinary cuisine that's being delivered to us. So, slow down, enjoy, and take in the full, robust flavors that come from all the different cultures and people around you. We start doing that, there's no telling what kind of free thought revolution could be taking place. And yeah, I know, these thoughts are free. And revolution takes action. And asking someone to take them steps to be revolutionary is a lot. If nothing else, if you don't take nothing else out of this, do me a favor. Please be revolutionary and proactively revolutionary when it comes to fire. Because my ass is still burning. Free thought revolution. Upon you be peace. Holla at you, boy. Love. One, and that brother's buns was on fire.